Yes, all my mental warriors
come out to
come out to play, and all my Spartans who need a root. Welcome everyone to the very first episode of the Mental Warrior Show, where it's our goal and mission to create an army of millions of mental warriors just like you. So how we're going to do that is we're going to cover the topics that'll help make you mentally stronger, which will in turn make you physically stronger. Because our motto around here is when you can win the war in your mind, you'll win the battle for your life. Everything starts up here, ladies and gentlemen. As we all know this, but it's easier said than done. So that's why this podcast was created, to help you become mentally stronger. Because when I help others become mentally stronger, I become mentally stronger. So in this very first episode, it's titled The Masses. And I'm going to cover a golden rule that I personally live by, and that I've heard many more successful people than me and my mentors have told me about this rule, and I live by it by myself. So I think it'll help you too. Now, before I get into this golden rule, we always got to do a little bit of housekeeping. So you might be watching this on YouTube, you might be listening to this on all podcast platforms, or you might be reading this in the Mental Warrior weekly newsletter. However you're consuming this, I just want to remind you that we're on all of these platforms and we're dropping content once a week. So make sure you subscribe to the newsletter, because that way you'll be able to read this, listen to this, and watch this all in one place. So your best bet is to subscribe to the Mental Warrior newsletter now. We will never spam you, sell your information, probably only send you about 1 or 2 emails a week. New episodes drop every Tuesday. So be sure to check the description box for a link to the newsletter or a link to the YouTube, the audio version of this. We're also on all social media platforms, so be sure to check out the Mental Warrior Life on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. And lastly, we have to promote our merchandise, because it's people like you who are helping us run this operation. So we have our store with cool merch like this. You see the logo. We got t-shirts, sweatshirts. So show the world that you're a mental warrior. And by getting this shirt, you are funding this operation, because all the money that we get from the t-shirts, we're putting back into this, back into the cause of creating millions and an army of millions of mental warriors. And in return, you get a cool shirt that you can wear. You can show people that you are a mental warrior. So with all that being out of the way, I'm sure you fast forwarded that anyway, but I appreciate you for supporting the cause and just being here, watching, reading, or listening to this. So now I want to get into things. I'm going to talk about this golden rule in this episode titled The Masses. Now, this golden rule will help you become more successful and happier, because I learned this from people that are a lot happier and a lot more successful than me. And once I implemented it into my own life, I became happier and more successful. So you want to know what the golden rule is? The golden rule is do the opposite of the masses. Yes, the golden rule is to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. And you want to know why? Because nobody knows what they're doing and nobody knows what they're talking about. You know, we have these so-called leaders and these so-called gurus, these so-called figureheads. You might see them on the news. You might follow them on social media. They're in politics. A lot of them are full of shit. A lot of them don't know what they're talking about, and they don't know what they're doing. And there's a lot of people, the masses especially, are following these people and doing what they say and blindly believing them. So it's like the blind leading the blind. People who don't know what they're doing or what they're talking about are telling other people what to do, what to talk about. And these people are listening to them, and they have no idea that they don't know what they're doing or what they're talking about. So it's an endless cycle loop here of people not knowing what the hell they're doing or what's going on. So you, my fellow mental warrior, you will be ahead of the game by doing the opposite of what they say and what they do. Because you know what? Honestly, most people are scared of freedom. Most people are scared to think for themselves or say what they really think or live how they really want to think, live how they really want to live. And so they stay in this little box and they become another brick in the wall, which is okay if that's where you want to live. But if you're watching this, listening to this, or reading this, chances are you're a mental warrior that's waiting to bust out and live the life that you truly want to live. So this is why you need to follow the opposite of what the masses are doing. Most people, they don't want to think. They want to turn their brain off and they just want to do their thing, whatever, which is fine. But I know there's a lot of warriors out there. That's not how they want to live, but they might feel stuck. They might feel like they have to live that way. And you don't have to live that way, and you shouldn't live that way if that's not how you want to live. You shouldn't be scared to voice your opinion. You shouldn't be scared to think what you say. As long as you're not hurting anybody else. That's a big thing is, you don't want to ever hurt anybody else. You want to be considerate of everyone else, but you should still live how you want to live. Because the other thing is, let's set aside, for the most part, people might not know what they're doing and what they're talking about, or that they're following leaders who are spewing lies and they don't know what they're talking about, what they're doing. So let's set that aside for a minute. The other side of this is most people are haters. And the saying is true that haters are going to hate. And that existed before Taylor Swift, by the way. So let's just get that out of the way. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. I was saying that before her. All right. So, but the saying is true. Haters are going to hate. And they're going to hate because they feel threatened by you. They feel jealous of you. So when you want to start a new business, or you lost some weight, or you're trying something new, or you just have an idea that's out of the box, people just can't fathom it. They can't understand it. Then they say something negative to you. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, this, that, and the other. Oh, I tried that. It didn't work. Because people are haters. You know why? Because they're scared. They're scared of the freedom. They're scared of the success. They're also jealous. They're jealous of other people who take the risk and put in the work and do what they want and do things on their terms because they're too scared to do it themselves. Now, I'm not judging anyone, but people are people, humans are humans, and what I'm saying is true because we've all experienced it. Hell, a lot of us have judged other people. I've been there before until I learned the motto of do the opposite of the masses. There's no reason to hate on someone else just because you're jealous or you're insecure because you don't have the balls to do what they're doing. I faced that my whole life. I feel like I've always been ahead of the curve. I've always done my own thing. And it's because I was secure in myself. I didn't really care what other people think because I know who I am and what I'm capable of. And when you truly stop caring about the opinions of others and you're secure in yourself, that's when you know you're truly a mental warrior. So really, if you want to live the life that you want to live, you really truly want to be free, you want to be happier and more successful, you need to do the opposite of what the masses are thinking and doing. Because not only that, the people who are, shall we say, socially engineering society, they want us all in a box. They want you to go to school, graduate, get a job, start a family, do the regular stuff that people do. They don't want you asking questions. They don't want you thinking. They don't want you to be free. They want you on the drugs. They want you to eat the food that's full of poison. They want you watching the news. They don't want you to have free thought. They don't want you to have freedom because then that's less for them. They want to control you. They want you to do what they want you to do. They don't want you to do what you want to do. We've all been socially engineered and socially programmed to be this way. So I'm not judging anyone in this video. I think more and more people are waking up to the engineering that has gone on and the programming that we've all gone through since we were kids. But you got to realize that these people are not looking out for your well-being. They do not care about you. These companies are for profits. They don't care about the ingredients they put in the food. They don't care about the stuff they put in the news to scare you because they want to control you and keep you controlled. I don't want to call people sheep because I don't judge people. Some people just don't know what they don't know. So hopefully I'm waking people up with this. However, there are a lot of sheep out there who are just blindly following because either they don't know what's going on, they don't want to know, or they just don't care. But if you're watching this or listening to this and you want to become a mental warrior, that doesn't apply to you. You want to break out the mold. You want to kick down the door. You want to live the life how you want to live. You want to be that renegade millionaire who does things on his terms, lives the life that he truly wants to live. So that's what this video is all about. So like I said, you want to be happier and more successful, do the opposite of the masses. And if you Google that phrase, I didn't come up with it, I'll be honest, but if you Google that, you'll find a treasure trove of stuff that will change your perspective on life, and it'll change your life. So I suggest you Google that term, look into who said it, look into what it really means, and it'll open up your mind to a whole new world where you could truly be free. So that's it for this episode. I appreciate you either watching or listening or reading. So that's it for today. I thank my warriors for coming out to play, all my Spartans. That's it for this episode. Mental Warriors out.